This is the market update for the week of April 4th through April 8th. We're going to look at the stocks. We're going to look at the overall market, what's happening, which stocks are going up, which stocks are going out potentially. We're going to look at the commodities as well as any earnings and market updates for next week, any news and things like that. So let's get into it. Okay, so last week we saw some weakness in the market. It's been up on a tear the week before. It's been moving up pretty much 1 to 3% every single day for the past like 10 days or something. And we can definitely see some weakness last week, which I expect to continue. I don't think the market has that much room up left to go, although you never know. But my take on this is cautiously optimistic. Okay, so it will probably stay in the same range. For example, if we look at E-mini S&Ps, it will probably stay in this range of 4,500, maybe 4,600. I don't think it has that much more room left to go because it just moved drastically. Drastically, it moved up. Okay. The same thing we can see in Nasdaq tech stocks. It's been on a tear even more so than E-mini S&Ps on a basis point. And looking at the individual stocks, for example, Tesla. So as we can see in stocks like Tesla, it's been on a tear. I would expect it to stay next week in the same range, 1100s. I don't see it going up to all the way to 1200s, the previous highs, because it's already had a huge move up. Taking a look at Twitter, it's been beaten down last year. I am long it. I would expect it next week to stay in the same range of 38, 39, maybe going higher to 41 levels, because Twitter has been grossly oversold in the beginning of the year. So I would see it only on the positive side and only going up from here on out. Taking a look at stocks like Nvidia, it has a pretty similar story to Nasdaq. It's pretty much going one-to-one with the Nasdaq, with the stock, and we can see it had some weakness. Although the previous week it went up like crazy, going up with like 3% every single day. Of course, that's not sustainable. So I would say it will keep in the same level. It wouldn't go up more than like 280s, 290s area, and definitely all the risk is on the downside. Taking a look at some of the Chinese stocks. If you want to trade Chinese stocks, stocks like Baidu or Baba, they're a really good indicator of what the Chinese markets are doing. As you can see, it's down pretty significantly. Actually, last week it went up like by a lot. I don't know how many percent points that is, but it went up from 124 to 150. It's at least a 10-15% move, which is insane. It gave some of that up last week, but I think we can expect some strength depending on what the market does. But I definitely see some strength in the stock, in the Chinese stocks moving forward. Stocks like Uber also had a pretty solid week last week. Can definitely see some gains, and we can definitely expect it to go up because it's been beaten down severely, as you can see, last year, and I don't see it going down much more than that. Maybe it can go down a little bit to the 30 levels, but I would eventually expect it to go up in the short-term to mid-term levels time frame. So let's take a look at volatility. VX futures volatility is staying up. It's staying in the 20, 25, 30 area. I don't see volatility going down anytime soon because, as we know what's going on in the world, the volatility is going to stay up. Let's take a look at the commodities. Oil's been down last week, pretty big down moves. I don't see oil going up that much from this point on. I think the downtrend is in, because it just can't keep going up. I would expect it to stay maybe in the same range of 99, maybe 100, going up a little bit. I don't expect it to go up more than the previous high from last week of 115. Same thing with natural gas, although natural gas had a really good last week. Again, I don't see it sustainable. I think it's going to go down in the short term. I don't know about long term, but short term it's definitely overbought. I wouldn't buy it at this levels. I would wait for a pullback, at the very least to the levels of $5, something like that. I don't see it has much more up room left. You can see there is inflation risk as always. What does that mean to the market? Again, nobody knows. Is this a tradable event? We'll see. Microsoft has some EU antitrust regulators problems, but again, it's buy the rumors, sell the news. I would definitely not really worry about it too much. Let's take a look at some earnings next week. Earnings movers and shakers. There's some earnings for Nestle. I don't think anyone trades that. Broadcom supposed to go out tomorrow. Broadcom. Those are all the earnings. Royal Bank of Canada of RBC has the earnings next week. Broadcom, Nestle. Nothing really is happening next week, so we can expect the market to really be calm, given everything else that's going on in the world. And we will go from there. Happy trading.